Welcome. You are the head of community partnerships and events for Beam, global payments platform built in support for smart contracts. It's impressive, obviously. Beam has 750,000 users, processed 4.3 billion transactions, million, and there's around $250 million of $250 million US dollars has gone through this. And I believe you guys are the mobile, the leading mobile wallet in the United Arab Emirates right now today. Is that right?
Yes, we are. We are. Thank you for that intro.
Tell us about Beam.
Thank you. Look, we've got a very stronghold in the UAE. So essentially, Beam is a demand generation platform. So we launched as a mobile and rewards app back in 2012. And from there, we have set up shop big time in the UAE. We're the #1 mobile wallet there. And we are also in other countries such as Sweden and other cities as well.
Cool. And so it uses smart contracts to reward customers. Tell us about how does it work?
Yeah, okay. So smart contracts, we have built-in system for them at the moment. It's not on the blockchain, it's our version of them. And essentially what it does is Beam, when we work with retailers, we help them work with their customers in a more meaningful way. So for customers, they get to use Beam, they tap Beam, they earn rewards, and they can go and spend that at any of our partner stores. But for retailers, we help them solve common business problems, which is usually like, I need more customers, I want to ignite lapsed customers, or want to reward existing ones. So our smart contracts, currently, they're on our platform, but we want to bring them onto the blockchain in order to help us essentially scale that part of our business. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's massive in the UAE. Tell us, how did that come about? How did it become so big in UAE?
So essentially, we actually launched our pilot here in Sydney. It was a very small pilot, and then we got some strong funding come through from the UAE. So the Westfield of the UAE is a company called MAF, and they came on as a local partner. So we actually put a lot of our efforts, blood, sweat and tears in really launching it in that region. And we've had some great success over there. We were actually the first app in the UAE to allow customers to pay for fuel from their car.
Wow.
Fun fact.
Okay, cool. And right now you guys are currently holding an ICO to launch the Beam token. How will that sort of change the platform and how it's used? Yeah,
so currently the way that customers use Beam to tap and to pay for things and they get rewarded into the app, that's not going to change. That's going to be fiat. But the big game changer for us is essentially using a token and token economics that is built for the retail ecosystem. So what we'll essentially be doing is we'll be using the token to decentralize our revenue model so we can reward other stakeholders within the retail value chain who are adding value to the ecosystem to actually benefit from that. So essentially we'll be sharing the revenue around to different local partners, issuers, acquirers, that type of thing.
Can you give us an example of how it'll be used? How will the Beam token be used?
Yeah, sure. So for example, at the moment, we're working with different regions around the world. So Portugal, Netherlands, South Africa, in America, around local partners coming on board and actually, instead of Beam going into that region and setting up Beam and playing the role of the issuer, the acquirer, the local partner, we are going to work with other entities to actually play those roles. So for example, we have a local partner in Saudi Arabia. They're coming on board. So they actually have to hold a certain amount of Beam tokens in order to run Beam and the platform in their area. So they essentially have the rights. They help us bring on merchants, all that type of thing. So I think the biggest difference and what we're really interested to see when we go to market is that you know how with tokens, when they usually go on exchanges, they go up and then they go down. Well, because local partners actually have to hold a certain amount of tokens, we're expecting that to help with the stability of the token once it's on the exchange. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other use case, I guess, for the token? Obviously, the software is so you can use the software, you can use it locally. But is the customer using the Beam token?
Not at the moment. So we have decided to not change the user experience too much at the moment. We're essentially going to use the token, like I was saying before, with our revenue model and decentralizing that. But as far as customers paying, it will be in fiat, and we've decided to do that at the moment because we know that the customer experience won't be as good if we were to put everything onto crypto, but it's definitely something that we'll be kind of looking at further down the path.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got a screenshot of the Beam ICO. Talks about a lot about ending the war on data, which is important. We are building the future of retail where the customers are the owners of their data. Now, this is a big controversy, right? And I think this is very important from the perspective of retailers, malls, government, suppliers there. People owning their data, right? And they want to trade that for value. We've got a lot of people becoming increasingly aware of Facebook. Let's say, I'm going to use the word borrowing your data, borrowing your data and selling it, borrowing. It's like, if I asked you, Freya, can I borrow a tissue? And then you're not really going to get it back.
Well, I would want it back. So.
Yeah.
Actually, have you heard the latest on what Facebook has done with people's data?
No, I haven't.
I saw a tweet last night. Apparently, they have been using, when people log in with the two-factor authentication using their mobile phone, they have been then using the mobile phone to retarget people with advertising. Bum, bum, bum. Bad. Bad.
It's so creepy. It's a good thing I left Facebook in 2012. I don't think I'm coming back.
Wow.
I thought I was quite progressive. At the time, everyone was like, that's social suicide. And I was like, no, it's not, because I've got my real friends now. Can you tell us about, you've enabled Beam, how are they going to own their data with Beam? Tell us.
Cool. So data sovereignty is a hot topic, and it's something that we are super passionate about at Beam. Currently, as the Beam platform stands now, we reward customers when they share their data, and we provide them value in exchange for their data. We want to scale this, and how we'll be doing that with the blockchain. How we foresee it is we won't be building anything into the Beam platform. What we'll be doing is we'll be working with external suppliers. So Ocean Protocol, DataFund.io, those guys, they will actually hold customer data. We think that'll be permissions based. That's what it's looking like. And essentially Beam will plug into that. So for example, when a retailer needs to know your shirt size, you can actually give the retailer that information, and you can give them just that information, and they can provide you with value.
Do you know today I'm actually wearing black?
Stop it. Looks good on you.
Yeah, I'm wearing black, sponsored by Black. It's an actually this is the black t-shirt. That's cool because owning your data, I think, is really important. I think it's going to be a big trend coming up, and it's something I've been talking a lot about. And I think there are a lot of other, that's a really great use case for the blockchain. It hasn't really come to bear as such today, but is definitely something in the pipe, and it's great to see that you guys are attacking that. Tell us, so can users of Beam pay with other cryptocurrencies, or is it just the Beam token?
Yeah, so at the moment, you connect, so the app is card agnostic, phone agnostic. So you download it to any phone and you connect your credit card, debit card. That's how it's going to work. When we do, and this is future speaking, when we do decide to move into the crypto space, what we do want to do is enable people to actually use their crypto, whether they, use it to top up their rewards in their app so they can go and spend it in other partner stores or whatever that looks like. Eventually, yes, we want to get there.
So let me just understand. So with this token, so right now with this ICO, token investors are going to buy this token, and then obviously different countries are going to use the software. Do they receive a dividend, or do they receive? How do they get their return on their token investment.
Yep.
Return on
So-
token investment. RTI.
Okay, so for the RTI, so let me break this down for you. Currently, when we work with retailers to help them engage their customers, we are paid. We earn 16% of every transaction that goes through the Beam network. So that's a retailer. So for example, Costa Coffee, they will pay us a percentage because we've delivered them a new customer. So that 16%, we then break off, 10 or 11% and feed that back to the customer. And then we keep the rest for maintenance and all that kind of stuff to run Beam. With the token, how it will work when we launch is that when we're paid that 16%, the revenue is a part of it's going to the customer, but then for those other roles that I was speaking about before, about the issuer, the acquirer, the local partner, they all get a piece of the pie too. So for example, like point of sale, POS vendors, they currently only make one transaction, and that's when they sell the terminal to the merchant. As what we want to do is we want them to integrate Beam, and then we're actually going to give them a snippet of every transaction that goes through the POS. So we're opening up different revenue opportunities for other players in the retail ecosystem. And the reason why we want to do this is because the likes of Visa and MasterCard, they strip out millions of dollars of wealth from the retail ecosystem. Merchants pay for, this is kind of crazy, but they pay for the privilege to run payments with Visa and MasterCard. We want to turn that on its head. We want to flip that upside down, and we want to open up the payments network so other companies, issuer apps, they can actually start using and paying using Beam.
All right. And cool. And what sort of, you guys are doing a reverse ICO. What is a reverse ICO?
So reverse ICO, so a reverse ICO is essentially, we're an existing business. So like you very nicely, eloquently described before, we've got, 750,000 users, we're across 4 different cities. We're essentially solving real world problems. Existing business, now we're raising to try and scale the business. So that's reverse ICO, because more so an ICO is they've got the idea and now they're raising money to try and execute on that idea. So I suppose it's a bit more of if you're an investor, say, it's a bit more of a sure bet because the foundations are there.
Cool. So Beam started in the UAE. Now it's raising, in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Are there any plans to roll out Beam in, Australia, Asia, USA, or other parts of the world?
Yeah. So we definitely do have plans. So for us, the next kind of couple of months, once we round out our raise, we'll be looking to roll out in parts of Europe, Netherlands, Portugal. Definitely Australia is on the cards. We've got some good talks with local partners here, which is really exciting. And yes, definitely some other parts around the world. Like I was saying before, Saudi Arabia, there's talks in South Africa and also in the US. So yes.
Cool. Now, recently you went on a trip to China.
I did.
With Austrade. Tell us about what was the top highlight of going to China?
Okay, besides eating my weight in dumplings, delicious. The Austrade mission was actually really cool, and I think the biggest thing that kind of slapped me in the face was here in Australia, innovation is bottom up. In China, it is top down. So you've got all of these massive corporations. We went into Ant Financial, who are the guys behind Alipay. Oh my goodness, they have so much money, they have such a big market share, and they're doing some really cool things with blockchain. So they took us through like a whole range of projects. One of them was cross-border remittance, that they were doing a transaction essentially between, I think, Philippines and Hong Kong. So, and that was using the blockchain, and we were all like, whoa.
That's how I look when I look in my cupboard and I see black t-shirts. I'm just like, what t-shirt am I going to wear?
What?
What trends are you seeing right now in the market? Tell us. What's coming up, Freya? What are you seeing?
So one of the big trends that came up quite a bit overseas is interoperability. So essentially for two chains to...
Interoperability.
That's it.
Interoperability.
Can you say it?
I'm calling it interoperability. Quadrupling.
I feel like every time I say
Quadrupling.
interoperability, I may dribble a bit.
It's like another word. I think my word for this day is runny. Runny. It's a bit runny.
Running for a Friday. Look, guys, it's Friday. But yeah, so that's essentially where two chains interact or integrate with each other. So we were at the World Blockchain Summit in Shanghai for those 2 days, and a lot of presentations were looking at that, looking at how to address it. So I think that's definitely a big thing at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prediction, tell us, what's Bitcoin's price going to be when it strikes 12 at midnight on New Year's Eve 2018? What's your prediction?
Oh, I think it's going to go down, probably 5.5 grand.
5,500 US dollars.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
You're the bears that's like literally running around and selling. But you're not selling your Bitcoin, but you're holding on to it.
And I'm hodler.
Any predictions, I guess, for the next 5 years? Freya, what are you sort of seeing? Where are you sort of seeing the market going?
Next 5 years, I think one thing I'd love, and it will come, is just like more education. More education, because that's going to be one of the catalysts, I suppose, into mass adoption. So I think 5 years, let's just focus on, educating the masses more and more.
Cool. Awesome. And any favorite coins? Do you have any favorite coins?
I've got a bit of a crush on Stellar. Yeah, I do.
Stellar. I don't know if we talked that much. Joel, do you like Stellar?
I don't know enough about Stellar.
Doesn't know enough about it.
I like the name.
He likes the name.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah. It kind of might fit in with our galaxy of crypto, right?
Yes, I feel like Stellar's nice kind of like,
There it is. It's sitting out the front there. It's not too far away from the big moons. It's like, actually, it's pretty in there. I would give it a 6.4.
Nice. I think they've just got a cool community behind them. Yeah, I think those guys are doing some good things.
Awesome.